Hey guys, welcome back to Resilient Man channel. So let's discuss strategies on getting through a tough time of year, the holidays, specifically men surviving and thriving through the holidays. And I say that because I think a lot of it comes with dealing with grief and loss, and going through the holidays with grief and loss is especially hard. So again, welcome back. Comment your strategies for getting through the holidays while dealing with grief and loss, and some of the things that you do and encourage and that type of thing. Like and subscribe to Resilient Man channel. Hope this channel is benefiting you as a man. So what grief and loss are we talking about? For many men, it comes from maybe you're separated or you're divorced, or the loss of your marriage, and now maybe this is your first holiday season, or not. Either way, it's so hard. I think in thinking about this, one of the first things that you grieve and over the loss of is, if you're separated, divorced, or what have you, is you don't have that special someone to spend the holidays with. And that's a major thing to lose. I mean, you were married, and you had your wife, and of course you had those special memories and times as you're enjoying the holidays together, and Thanksgiving, and the families together and all of that. And then you go into Christmas, and you've got those special times, and Christmas morning and opening gifts, and then on through to New Year's and having somebody to celebrate New Year's Eve, and to go into the new year with your wife and with your spouse. So if you are in that position, I want to encourage you, if you're separated and or divorced, what you're feeling is valid, and it's tough. It's tough. I mean, all of a sudden you find yourself without your wife, and going into a new era in your life. I can share with you, when I was married, Christmas could be good or bad with my ex. Sometimes it was good, sometimes it was not. Maybe some of you guys can relate to that actually the holidays are more peaceful now that you are you don't have your wife. But I know for me it kind of went both ways. But to share a quick story of my personal situation, I was married, and then we separated, which was her doing. And the first Christmas, she actually left me alone. The plan was she was going to spend Christmas morning, early afternoon with her family, because we were separated and things were still fresh. And then she was going to come over like 2 p.m. and we would, have our Christmas and spend the rest of Christmas Day and evening together as a couple. Because in our situation, we were separated but trying to reconcile. Well, she didn't come over to have Christmas with me until 6:30 at night. And of course, by then Christmas was over, and I was furious, I was angry, I was sad, I was grieving the loss of Christmas. And some of you guys maybe can relate to that situation. So I share that because it is extremely hard. It is extremely hard if you're separated and or divorced and you don't have your wife and you find yourself alone. So what you're feeling is valid, and we're going to go over some things that will help you get through the holiday season, actually thrive through the holiday season. So the next thing that you may be grieving is the loss of your children. And I mean, the limited time with them. Maybe, it's if you're separated, maybe you're doing 2 separate Christmases, or you're divorced and she gets Christmas one year and then you get the next, or whatever the case might be. That can be extremely hard. I know in my situation, what I did early on when my children were young, and our custody agreement, she would get, let's say she got Thanksgiving, then I would get Christmas that year. The next year it would flip. I would get Thanksgiving, she would get Christmas. I think we did that one year, and then I went to her and said, look, my family is spread out across the country, and yours is all pretty much in one area, and so why don't we do this? Why don't I will do an early Christmas with the kids. Say I get them on the 18th through the 21st, and I do an early Christmas, and then you take the kids and you go up to where your family is from, and that way they don't miss out on family, and nothing is, they don't lose anything. That's what I did, and it worked out well, especially for the kids, which is what I wanted to put first. But it was still hard, it's still hard on actual Christmas morning when you wake up and your kids are not there. But you have to push through it, and that's what we're going to discuss here in a moment with how to get through your holiday season. The next thing you might be grieving or struggling with the loss of is the traditions. Maybe with Thanksgiving, you hosted at your house and the whole family came to your house, and it was a big party and a big spread, and you're having Thanksgiving dinner and watching football and doing all the fun stuff, and now that's gone because you're separated or divorced. That can be tough. That's tough, especially if you're a guy who's out there on your own now and you're doing it alone. I think the first year my ex and I were separated, when the kids were really young, I think I actually took them to Golden Corral for Thanksgiving because I had them. How sad is that? So, and of course that tradition was, it was very tough. And then as you go into, more into the holidays and you get into the Christmas season, maybe you and your wife and or the kids, you'd go driving around and see the Christmas lights and, going to see Santa and, all those type of things. New Year's Eve comes and, you're celebrating that with your wife, and going into the new year with someone, is a tough loss. It is natural for you to grieve if you don't have that. And so that's why I wanted to make this message, this video, because it is tough. It's not easy. And you are grieving loss. It's not easy. And you have to be careful, because loneliness and depression from the grief and loss can set in, and it can put you in a tailspin and actually make things even worse. So that is, it's normal. It's normal to feel sad, maybe even a little depression over your situation, over what you're grieving. Just try not to wallow in it. Try not to stay there too long, because it doesn't do you any good. It actually hurts you. So you have to purposely change your thoughts, purposely change your mind. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to stay busy. So let's get into this. Let's get into how to get through your holiday season and actually thrive. So, the number one thing that I would suggest now is make plans now. And, how are you going to spend your time? How, if you're going to be alone or maybe you're not alone, but you're not with your wife anymore, and maybe the kids are not there, whatever your situation is. Decide now how you're going to spend your time so you don't find yourself depressed because you have nothing to keep you busy. So, if you are spending Thanksgiving alone, if you are spending Christmas alone, what groups can you go join? What activities can you go do? Decide now so the day doesn't come and you're there and you have nothing to go. At least if you have something planned, then the day seems a little bit more fulfilling than if you're sitting around brooding over the fact that you didn't have any plans or anything to do. It's tough, man. It's tough. So, number one, make your plans now. How are you going to spend your day, your Thanksgiving, your Christmas Day, your New Year's, plans, that type of thing. Number two, make sure that you are exercising and staying active daily, every single day as part of your holiday season. Of course, this time of year, a lot of food, a lot of overeating, a lot of couch binging, watching movies and such, and just vegging out. Nothing wrong with that, especially if you live in a place where the weather is cold and dreary and that type of thing, and you're just kind of vegging out and doing your thing. What you don't want to do is get into a daily habit of overeating, which makes you lethargic, which feeds into being depressed because you're grieving loss of your of not having your spouse or maybe your kids or the traditions that you did have. Daily activity it jacks up your endorphins and it makes you feel better. It really does. And if you get out for a walk, for a hike, go to the gym, whatever the case might be, you're gonna feel better. And it's kind of a good balance to the other things that you may be doing over the holidays, such as enjoying some food or maybe some drink and things like that. It will balance that out. Which brings me to number three. Treat yourself. Treat yourself, but in moderation. So, hey man, I love good food and I love good drink and I enjoy it. There are times during the holidays, like last year at Christmas, I actually was by myself and I planned it that way. I'd done an early Christmas with the kids and then was on vacation down in Florida. And going back to number one, I made plans. I planned out my day so I knew what I was doing and I was going to treat myself. So, I had a relaxing morning, spent the day, and then when I was ready, I broke out the grill and I had a great steak, a great New York strip, and I sauteed, I like the sauteed onions and mushrooms, and really, I just made a fantastic meal to treat myself on Christmas Day. And it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful, man. I mean, I grilled my steak and made my sides with it and all, and had my my favorite beer, and then I kicked back to watch some good Christmas movies. I think I watched Christmas Vacation, which is a must every year, And I think I watched It's a Wonderful Life too, because that's a classic as well. But that's part of getting through the holiday season is there are moments where you should treat yourself and have that planned out. So it is something special that you are doing for you. Number 4 is realize you're not the only one who's spending the holidays alone. I was at a friend's place down in Florida last year. They let me stay there. They were going on vacation with their family, and next door was a friend who she was spending it alone. There's multiple people that they're spending it alone as well. The point I'm making is you're not the only one who's spending the holidays alone, and therefore there's not, it's not like there's something wrong with you or you're the odd man out, shall we say. Lots of people are spending the holidays by themselves, and that's why it's good if you can. If there are groups that you can meet for a group Thanksgiving or a group Christmas dinner or whatever, go do it. Go do it. You'll feel better. You'll enjoy it, and it'll help to not make you feel so alone. And then number 5, the last thing that I would suggest is volunteering is a great way to take your mind off your situation and keep things in the proper perspective. I mean, at Thanksgiving or Christmas time or whatever the case might be, if you can volunteer at a mission or some type of homeless kitchen and that type of thing, that is a great way to you come away from it thinking to yourself, man, I've really got it pretty good in spite of my situation, in spite of what I've gone through or am going through. There are people who have it worse, and so that will help you. So, guys, that's all I wanted to share with you today as far as men surviving through the holidays and actually thriving. I do believe that if you do these things and you keep the proper perspective each day, you will thrive through it, and you'll come through the new year, and the holidays will be behind you, and you move on into the new year, and with a feeling that it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. So, guys, that's what I got on. If you are enjoying the content, please like and subscribe to Resilient Man channel, and know your worth. Protect your peace.